Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Hard Knocks.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey. Welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
Yes, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura. And we're sisters who watch everything: TV, movies, sports, concerts, and even the New York Jets.
That's right. The
Jets. We love
crazy
to watch
football franchise.
And we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
Hard Knocks and the kickoff of the 2023 NFL season.
Football.
Hoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're real sports fans.
Yes, we are, actually.
We are. It might not sound convincing, but we are.
If you listen to our Super Bowl episode, that was one of our first episodes that we did. You hear all about our analysis of the previous NFL season. And now we're going to do a kickoff, and review Hard Knocks, the most watched Hard Knocks ever.
Yes, very buzzy. It's the new look New York Jets were featured this season on Hard Knocks with Aaron Rodgers as their new quarterback.
Yeah.
The Aaron Rodgers leaving the Green Bay Packers, who's dated Shailene Woodley. He was leaving Wisconsin for the bright lights in New York. Or New Jersey, given,
East Rutherford, New Jersey.
That's where the Jets play.
We're from New York, and we grew up as Jets fans, not Giants. We're long-suffering Jets fans.
You hate to see
Super
it.
Bowl IV, we're still riding the high.
Joe Namath.
From Joe Namath. And a lot of people thought this was going to be the Jets' year.
Yes.
Because last time when we recorded the Super Bowl episode, Aaron Rodgers hadn't been traded to the Jets yet. And we talked about how it would kind of be our worst nightmare if Aaron Rodgers...
We're not fans.
We don't like him.
Yikes.
Deep cut for Bachelor fans. Jordan Rodgers is still with JoJo, the Bachelorette. And he doesn't have a good relationship with his family. And that
seems
concerning.
like a red flag. It's a bad sign.
And Jordan Rodgers was like, yeah, no one talks to Aaron anymore. And you're like, what happened?
That doesn't seem good.
Aaron Rodgers is a name that is on everybody's mouth.
Yes.
Everyone's.
I had never seen so many people talk about the Jets in my life. This is typically the butt of the joke.
No one talks about it.
No pun intended, the butt fumble game. Like, this is typically a franchise that no one cares about. But this year, there was the most hype we've ever heard. So we had to tune in to Hard Knocks.
We had to
see, how the Jets were looking in the preseason, to see what this hype was about. I know this was your first time watching Hard Knocks, right?
Right. I'd never seen it. Our mom, our brother, they love Hard Knocks. They watch it every season. But the teams usually never excite me or interest me that much. But then we heard the Jets are going to be the team. That's our hometown, right? That's the team we've been rooting for our whole lives. I was like, okay, even though I'm not the big Rodgers fan, I felt like I had to watch. And everyone felt the same way, right?
Yeah, very highly rated. I think most viewed premiere ever on Hard Knocks, which is crazy.
Wild.
I know when I first watched Hard Knocks a few years ago, I didn't realize it's like preseason's how people try out to make the 53-man roster.
Right.
And there are cuts, and you just learn more of the inner workings. So it's actually fascinating if you just want to get a better deep dive on what actually happens on NFL teams.
What was the first season of Hard Knocks you watched?
I think it was the LA Chargers and LA Rams season, like the COVID season. And it was actually fascinating to kind of see behind the curtain. Like, oh, this is what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really good. I see why people like it. HBO, right?
The
HBO
quality
rarely goes wrong.
No.
And yeah, you see all the behind the scenes looks, and it's gritty and it's real. I enjoyed it. We knew that Rodgers has, a polarizing personality, you could say, but we knew it was going to be all about him, right? He's the star. There's all this anticipation.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a lot of Aaron Rodgers airtime.
We're expecting to see the Jets in a better light than normal. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. Should we dive into our highlights from the season?
Let's get into it.
What's interesting about Hard Knocks is you see the different tactics they do to encourage the players or to excite the team, create camaraderie. And this season they brought in a mentalist. I don't really know what that means.
Right. I had heard of a Mentalist before.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think they brought them on The Bachelor and, other late night TV shows. So I'd seen it. It's kind of like a magician, but they get inside your head, which is really weird. And they anticipate what you're thinking and what your next move is going to be and what you're going to choose. So it's really freaky. And the tricks he was doing were unbelievable.
Like, get out of my head. I'm like scared. Stop.
Stop it. Stop. But I was entertained, especially when he predicted I forgot who it was, but he was like, who's going to be in the Super Bowl? What's the score of the Super Bowl? He was like, Jets Niners, 31-21. And he got it exactly right. I was like, there's no way.
Just is giving like a scam. I'm like, how are you doing this?
How?
It was really freaky. And then like the trick when he picks a card and he's like, oh, don't tell me what card it is. And then he's like, is this your card? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I never know how they do those tricks.
I know. And in Aaron Rodgers' hand, there was a goldfish. Remember that?
Yeah. I'm like, how did you do that? How did you create a goldfish?
I know.
Crazy.
That was really crazy.
Crazy.
But I was entertained. I thought that was definitely a highlight. It was super fun.
It was actually probably one of the more entertaining scenes of the show. So no complaints.
Shelby and I have talked about how much we love Tenzel Smart in this series.
Yes.
He was so sweet, and seeing his family and his wife, his baby, I loved seeing him.
I think that's another reason why I like Hard Knocks, because Tenzel Smart is a defensive player who isn't a big name, but like a journeyman trying to make the team, has been on the practice squad and on the Jets for a while. So it was interesting to see his perspective, see his wife and daughter who were standing by him, trying to support, and what it's like to not be a top tier player, right? To be someone who's on the fringes, and what it's like when you're just trying to make it and not give up on your dream.
Right. Because that's definitely forgotten by fans.
Yeah. You just think of like the star quarterbacks and the star players, but there's so many more people who want to be in the NFL, and it's hard to make it. And
even though he didn't make the 53-man roster, he was offered to be on the practice squad again. Yes. And he was so happy. Yes. He's like, I still have a job. I'm still going to fight.
Stay with the Jets.
Exactly. Support his family.
Another cool thing about Hard Knocks is you get to see a lot of the rookies.
Yes.
And the undrafted players, and just how they're trying to make the team, but they show their personality. You learn a bit more about the players. And again, people that you probably wouldn't hear about, like Jerome Cap, who I forgot his position. Maybe he was a tight end or something. Mm-hmm. He did a Eminem rap that went viral. Apparently Eminem tweeted about it. Yes. And it was actually good. And that was kind of funny to see all the rookies trying to perform, rap, impress the veterans. The Jets rookies initially struggled.
Yeah.
And had to redo it.
That was funny.
But the redo was good. Their second try, they did good with the raps, the skits, the jokes.
That was a really good moment. And I loved how they were just calling Jerome Cap every white rapper. They're like, yeah, Macklemore. Woo, G-Eazy. I'm
so crazy.
Yeah.
What was nice, they didn't show any players getting cut, even though we know it happens. Yeah. But they showed some clips of players getting told they were going to make the team.
Yeah.
So, if you're Aaron Rodgers or
Sauce,
some of these really big players, you're making the team.
Yeah.
There's not concern about that. But for these undrafted rookies, and there were two of them who were on the offensive side of the ball, they were nervous and weren't sure if they were going to make it. And it was so nice seeing them make the team.
Yeah.
They were so happy and they were friends. So it was a really special moment.
Yeah. And I love when Liev Schreiber, the narrator, was like, if one undrafted rookie makes it, the other probably won't. And I was like, no, I was like, Liev Schreiber, don't do this. Don't do this. But yeah, so that was a good kind of fake out.
Yes.
Seeing both of them make it was really, really cute.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Liev Schreiber, I really liked, and maybe because it's New York, who knows, but there were a lot of celebrity cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers kept talking about how he loves the voice of Hard Knocks. So he was the voice of God in Hard Knocks, which is voiced by Liev Schreiber, the actor. So he was really excited about being on Hard Knocks and was hoping he'd be able to meet him. So Liev Schreiber comes to the Jets camp, and it's a big deal to Aaron. Not really a big deal.
Asterisk
to anyone else. People were like, who? What? And Aaron was like, guys, you gotta say hi. And it was kind of funny to see him interact with the players and just how excited Aaron Rodgers was and how the other players and coaches
they didn't
really care.
And it was really interesting because Aaron Rodgers started to get mad at people. He was like, why aren't you saying hi to Leafs driver?
Come
He's
on.
the host. He's the voice of God. It's a big deal. Say hi to him. And you're like, yo, relax.
It was giving that like Aaron is more of like a personality celebrity now. Like to him, it's like, come on, this guy's an actor. Right. And the other players are like, what? Who? But like, so, but Aaron's in that he's eclipsed, right? He's closer to Tom Brady than, you know, these undrafted rookies. So he cares more about this stuff.
He cares more about image and looking good. Yeah. Like, oh, we gotta dress the celebrity, right?
Yeah. Don't force anyone to like leave. If they like them, they like them.
I mean, if you're like a black kid in the NFL or even these coaches, you don't know who leaves.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Aaron cared a lot about it. The other people were like, "Who is this guy?"
And he was like, "Yeah, Ray Donovan." And who? One of my favorite moments was when they're listening to the Sexy Red song, "SkeeYee." Remember that? And
even the coaches were getting into it.
Yeah, that was so funny. And someone was like, is this Ice Spice? They're like, no, Sexy Red. And I was like, I didn't really know who Sexy Red was. I was like, okay. But I know that was such a fun moment. And they're like, ski. Oh, everyone. I really liked that.
Well, that's what's so nice. Again, you get to see like this other side. Like typically as fans, you just see the games, but you get to learn more about the players, see them having fun, bonding.
Right.
It's a nice look to show like, yeah, they're just like us, right? They have other stuff going on, family, friends, just trying to have a good time with their lives.
You see the humanity.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, as New Yorkers, we love Broadway. I mean, come on. And it was so fun seeing all the Jets go see MJ, the Michael Jackson musical.
Yes. I like that because yes, the celebrity cameos felt very New York because they also had like Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid come because he's a Jets fan. Like they were bringing out that stuff, but the musical was the most New York thing. The players were so into it. They were talking about how they've seen other musicals, and it was just kind of funny to see them like in the audience vibing out to like MJ songs.
Yeah. I really loved that sequence. It was fun and it brought you back like, oh, like we're in New York, yes. And yeah, they're just normal people who want to see a Broadway show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
I've heard it too. I've heard good things. Do you have a favorite Broadway show?
Ooh. Well, like I'm grateful that we've been blessed to have seen a good amount because we grew up in Westchester County, New York, and we're able to see some Broadway shows growing up. You go first. Do you know what your favorite one is?
I was going to say it's a close tie between Wicked, of course, and The Lion King. Loved both of those. Those were amazing.
I know. Wicked we saw for your birthday. Lion King we saw for mine. I think I'm going to say Lion King, but it's tough because like I've seen In the Heights. Yeah. You know, we saw SpongeBob.
We did with Ariana Grande's new man.
Literally.
No joke.
No. She's dating SpongeBob. So yeah, we've seen like a good amount, like a range, like more Disney ones, like Aladdin, and then also seeing Porgy and Bess, which is like more classic. Yeah, so it's really tough, but I think Lion King's a classic. Wicked as well. I agree. That's like a good tie. Wicked and Lion King.
Yeah, iconic Broadway shows. How about some of the least favorite moments?
When Tanzel Smart found out that he didn't make the team.
That was so sad.
That was really sad because you got to see his wife and his daughter and you saw how much he was trying. And anytime anyone got hurt, like when rookies or undrafted players trying to make the team get hurt in a preseason game and you're like, oh my gosh, their family's in the audience. You can tell they get nervous. I'm like, oh, I hate that part.
I know. I agree. That was tough. Like the Nigerian guy whose family was in the audience. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he got hurt. That was really tough. Players getting hurt is always the worst. And we talked about it. Aaron Rodgers, his little diva personality came out a few times this season. I feel like since he was on camera, he was really trying to, you know, you could tell he was putting up a front.
Yeah,
right?
He was definitely composed. I felt like he knew what he was doing.
Hey,
that's what I said. He's more of a celebrity now.
Yeah,
he kind of knows how to handle it.
Right? In the NFL. So he definitely put up his celebrity, you know, good guy front. But the diva came out a few times, right? With the Leaf Shriver thing. And then there was like a bad play and he was basically like cussing out the whole sideline. That was like really interesting. And I was like, ugh. It was so awkward. You could tell everyone was uncomfortable by that. Something else that I didn't love, you know how like the Jets slogan is all gas, no brakes, right? And there was something else where it was like violence. Do you remember seeing that?
What
It
was
was like on the wall and it was all over and it was just like violence. It was like one of the pillars, right? Of their team.
One of the pillars of the team?
I noticed that that's alarming.
Don't like that.
Right? Especially in the wake of Buffalo Bills player DeMar Hamlin and his really scary cardiac arrest moment.
Oof.
Like, why are we like violence? I don't know. That is like a huge critique of mine of the NFL period. And to see like that was one of the things, you know, on the Jets wall, I thought that was kind of bizarre.
Not good.
It's like, is that what we're striving towards?
Not good.
Under a category, Shelby, for Hard Knocks 2023.
Yes. New York Jets edition.
Who did you love to hate?
I mean, we've talked about this. I think in general, I still have like a love to hate relationship with the NFL. It's the most popular sport in America. They're a cash cow. They've had a lot of diversity problems. The way they treated Kaepernick.
Oh my gosh.
They tried to make it seem okay by having lift every voice and saying and at the beginning of games.
And they're like, it takes all of us.
And and racism signs. So I think whenever I watch, it's kind of fun because we grew up as football fans, nostalgic, but it's also sometimes hard when I think about the diversity and inclusion part, which I think is still lacking.
Right. And I agree. I do love to hate the NFL because it's fun, it's entertaining, and we're just sports fans.
Yeah.
Here I feel like there are toxic things about the culture, and it's like, are we a part of the problem? Because we watch it and we love it and enjoy it. We're part of the problem. So it's hard because it's fun, it's entertaining, but also, of course, you know, people like Deshaun Watson, you know, and all these people who have, you know, domestic violence issues and all this can still play and have a career and make millions of dollars.
Every other day, it's like they got in a fight. There's some issue. There's harassment, and I'm like, I can't. When it's like really bad, like remember Ray Rice situation?
Yeah,
where he was like dragging and attacking a woman in the elevator, caught on camera. Like when it's so that bad, it's like, oh, this guy's never playing again. Yeah, it's just. But it takes these extremes,
right? It's like, what is
tough?
What is extreme enough to like? What's the worst type of domestic violence? Like some is better than others, right? It's just like such a weird thing to try and quantify and be like, oh well, this is really bad, so he can never play again. But like this was kind of bad, so he can come back in a year. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the NFL. But here we are
in our para. Watching Hard Knocks.
I know.
We are the problem.
We are the problem. It's fine. Okay, who or what did you hate to hate this season of Hard Knocks?
Some of the fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fighting girl, you know.
Really?
I know. You should probably look at me. Ooh, I'm a boxer. I'm not. And so I just don't, I'm like, it's already like a violent sport. Why are we trying to fight on the sidelines or after a play?
So
like, let's just play the game and try to be healthy and make it through. Why do we need more?
No, fight
hysterics. Yeah, it's too much. So every time like a fight broke out during like a joint practice with another team or even within the team, offense defense fighting, I was like
the most
stop it.
Like, why are we fighting, right? You're just hurting your team because you're going to get a penalty. It's just, you can't control yourself. Oh, it's crazy. I don't understand that. I think Rodgers is in between like a hate to hate and a love to hate because do we like him as a person? No. But was he great for morale for the Jets and like a great talent?
Never seen so much excitement in my life.
Right. The Jets, there's never been so much hype around the Jets. Or it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
And our lifetimes, maybe there hasn't been that much hype around the Jets. So I feel like, was he great for the organization and morale in the city? Yes, but for me personally, not a fan. And he did not like redeem himself.
I think
Hard Knocks for me.
He was fine.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, like, I know we talked about him kind of, like, yelling at players,
Yeah,
being
being a
upset,
bit of a
making
diva.
them want to say how to leave. But I think he actually handled himself fine.
Yeah, he was fine.
He was fine.
He was fine.
So I agree. I think he's kind of on the border of love to hate hate. We've talked about Tanzel Smart already, but I definitely would throw him in here.
Yeah, loves
Again,
him, his wife,
his
and
family.
his whole
They
family.
just, the energy, the commitment, the perseverance to keep pushing. Great.
Yeah, totally agree. And we also have Robert Saleh here.
The coach, the head coach.
I have to say, as long-suffering Jets fans for the past 20 years, we haven't had a good coach in a long time, right? We
didn't like Adam Gase.
Loved him.
Rex Ryan.
Icon. We just haven't had a great coach in a long time, right? And I feel like Robert Saleh has really done so much for the organization, right? Even last year, there's been a lot of hope, and he's made a great defense, right? And even without Rodgers, we were excited last year for the Jets. We're like, oh my gosh, like we're doing well.
Yeah. He took a hard job because the Jets are like a plagued franchise. And New York's a tough city, right? Media capital of the world, a lot of eyes, bright lights. But I think he's doing a solid job. Let's see, like, let's hope we get more wins than last year, you know? But I think given where the Jets were, he's done a good job.
For sure.
Done a really good job. And we love that he's a POC.
Yes, a coach of color. There are
very few.
A couple.
Yeah.
A couple. You can count on one hand, literally. So we're happy that he's doing well and he's on the Jets. Shelby, red flag, green flag. 1, 2, 3.
I'm ready.
Okay, is it a red flag to center your team around one player?
So, spoiler alert. If you have seen the start of the NFL season or just been on the news at all.
Yes.
Any sports news.
New York Times,
CNN, whatever. You've probably heard the news that the star player for the New York Jets, our quarterback, the literal star of Hard Knocks, who is in every frame, hurt his Achilles in the first series of the Monday Night Football game.
4 plays in.
4 plays in against the Bills. So Aaron Rodgers, who gave us so much hope, so much hype, is now out for the season. You literally cannot make it up. Laura and I were watching the Monday Night Football game
live.
When it happened, we were like, why didn't it get it up?
We were like, why is
it didn't look like the hardest hit.
No.
We were like, what's going on? When he had to get helped off and they got the cart, I was like, oh.
The Jets are done.
Nope.
We're cooked.
They put Zach Wilson in. You could see Coach Saleh's face. Literally a meme right away. He was like, nah. It's the first game of the season. Monday Night Football on the anniversary of 9/11 versus the Bills. Watching. So much hype. So much energy. Our family was there. Our mom, brother, and dad were there watching the game in person to celebrate our brother's birthday.
Someone tweeted saying that I hope the NFL writers never go on strike. They're working overtime.
I am sad for Aaron Rodgers, and I like, because you could tell like he was excited, fresh start, try something new, bring glory to a suffering franchise, and he never wished hurt or pain on anyone.
No.
Literally the craziest thing that could ever happen. But given the Jets' history,
it makes sense. Yeah, you're like, of course, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt.
All on the first series of the game.
It's
been in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, makes sense for the Jets.
Literally cannot make it up.
The Jets are cursed. They're cursed. I don't know which put something on the Jets franchise in Super Bowl IV.
Some bad voodoo.
Like, something needs to happen. It'll be really, really interesting to see where the Jets, how Robert Saleh adapts, right? Because they, like we said, is it a red flag to center your team around one player? No, Aaron Rodgers is gone.
The answer is yeah.
Yeah,
it's a red flag. All of this preamble, that's what it's leading to. Yes, it's a red flag. We're concerned. We're worried. The Jets ended up somehow winning the Monday Night Football game. Literally shocking,
somehow.
embarrassing for the Bills and Josh Allen, who threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, Josh Allen should be embarrassed.
Very embarrassing. Given Zach Wilson's our quarterback, and we had organized the offense all around Aaron Rodgers, got on his favorite Green Bay targets, Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard. Just everything was set up for him.
They centered everything around
him, and you're moving from him, a Hall of Famer, to a kind of like a bust of a draft pick in Zach Wilson. It's just giving, like, there's no way it's going to be a good season.
It's giving chaos.
It's giving chaos. It's giving underperformance.
It's giving Jets.
It's giving Jets. And yes, it's a red flag to send your team around one player. Because when one injury happens, everything hits the fan.
Everything
hits the fan.
Very on brand for the Jets. It's hard to get your hopes up as a Jets fan.
Very hard.
You got to keep the expectations
and
low.
This is why.
We were
telling our family.
Right.
Do not get your hopes up. It's a little too much hype. I could feel it. I didn't think this would happen. But I could feel like there was way too much excitement over the Jets.
Everyone was saying Super Bowl.
It was too much. All because of Aaron Rodgers, a 39-year-old quarterback. Too much.
This is why you don't hire 39-year-olds.
Give away all your draft capital, pay all this money, change your team.
Oh, gosh. Hot mess.
Whew.
On brand.
Well,
okay.
Big red flag energy. Laura, I have a question for you. Is it a green flag to never give up on your NFL dream and keep pushing, even if you don't make the roster, even if you're on the practice squad, like a Tanzel Smart?
I think it's a great flag.
Oof.
I think.
Tell us why.
I think we gotta be realistic. Obviously, we love Tanzel Smart, but he's been, going at this for years, right? He's a journeyman, and being in the NFL is so risky, right? I mean, just injuries alone. You haven't made the roster. Of course, being on the practice squad, it's a job, right? And you get to do what you love.
Yeah.
But I think we gotta be realistic. Trying so hard to just be on the practice squad all these years is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's not a green flag.
100% agree with you.
No.
It's hard because we all have dreams. Of course, you want to pursue them. But if something like the NFL that takes so much of your time, and it's really hard to not make a team, right? You're not making as much money when in the practice squad. There's a lot more uncertainty. Eventually, you're going to have to realize, this isn't for me.
Right.
And so a lot of people pivot. They become coaches. They become trainers. They do a new career like finance. Like, he could totally do something like that.
Right. If it's not working, you got to move on. Shelby, Hollywood Holland, tell me about some of your celebrity sightings related to football.
Yes. So in 2020, when I was at my finance job, I got to go to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And it happened to be right before COVID, so we lucked out being able to see all these stars. And it was the year that Jalen Hurts was there, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, all quarterbacks that are currently in the league starting. Yes, I have Herbert's jersey on.
Wow.
The Chargers, like the Angelino I am. It was just so cool. I actually met Jalen Hurts. Hindsight, should have gotten a photo or autograph.
Or number.
Clown.
Shelby's
Facebook
pointing
clown.
at herself.
Yeah, I'm the Facebook clown. But it was really fun. It's cool now to see, like, there's so many players, college players there that are now in the NFL and made it. I've also seen athletes in LA. I was hiking at Running Canyon and I saw Le'Veon Bell, the former Jet running back. Jets! So we've had some sightings.
We'd love to see it. I have not seen any NFL players.
Soon come.
Shelby sees all of them. Yeah. Okay, Shelby, is Hard Knocks Jets preseason a wait or a watch?
I think it's a watch, especially given how much anticipation there was about the Jets, and then to see how it's already tumbled. Oh my gosh. Definitely a watch.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the peak and then the valley.
Like, literally, definitely watch. Especially, I mean, if you're watching it in real time.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone was so excited, all this hype around it. And then, like, to see Monday Night Football, you're just like, what happened?
You literally cannot pick it up.
The arc was just absolutely bizarre.
No, it's that.
It's the car crash before it got out of the driveway.
Rough. Really bad.
The plane crashed before it got out of the runway. Like,
literally awful.
The Jets didn't even have a chance. The Jets did not even have a chance. Let's talk a little bit about the season.
Yes.
So Hard Knocks is preseason. Talk a little about Aaron Rodgers, etc. But we play fantasy football with our family. Okay, Shelby, tell us about your team.
This year I didn't do that much research in advance. I
Me
don't think you did
neither.
either.
No.
And I drafted a little differently than I typically would. Travis Kelce is my first pick. And of course, he gets hurt right before the start of the season. So I didn't have a tight end. Tough. And then, of course, Mahomes didn't play as well, and that's the quarterback I picked. So just
all in on Kansas.
All in on Kansas City. Normally would not do that. And I did. And it already didn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to be positive. It's a long season. Hopefully Mahomes will play better when Kelsey's back, and Kelsey will be back better than ever. Right. But already not looking good. I feel like my fantasy team already looking rough.
You're projected to be number 2.
So yeah, technically after you draft, the app will give projections on like how they think the season will end. And I was projected to be number 2. But I'm a little concerned. We'll see. It's a long season. But week 1 was not the best for me. I lost.
I won week 1. My first pick was Jalen Hurts. And
you never pick a quarterback that early.
Well, I did.
And I was so annoyed because she knew I wanted him on my team.
Well, I picked him early. And he did okay week 1.
Savage.
But my second pick was McCaffrey of the 49ers. And he got me like 25 points week 1. So, and I also picked Brandon Ayuk. But I didn't expect him to do so well the first week. He got over 30 points. So he was on my bench. But now we know next time. Now we know.
Yeah, clearly Brock Purdy likes to throw to him.
Yes. So my team is doing pretty well so far.
But you got Cooper Kupp, and he's hurt as well.
Yeah, he's hurt. There's been a lot of injuries for key fantasy players. Kelsey, Kupp.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers, as we said.
Yeah.
The Ravens running back, J.K. Dobbins, tore his Achilles as well. So he's out for the season.
Watch out for your Achilles, folks.
Oh my gosh. Protect those feet and ankles. They're under attack. So it's fun to play fantasy, but it's like, ooh, because these players are actually out here
putting their lives on the
line.
Literally. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, so we talked about fantasy. We got to talk about the first weekend of the NFL. Week 1, crazy town.
Very competitive games.
Yes.
We already touched on briefly about the crazy Monday Night Football game between the Jets and the Bills.
Monday Night Football alone made the whole weekend.
Yes.
But in addition to that, we had some very competitive nail-biters.
Yes.
The Dolphins versus the Chargers. Because a lot of people, have doubted Tua, right? Weren't expecting too much from him.
In our fantasy league, Tua was not drafted.
No.
And Tyreek Hill fell because people were a little low on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Joke's on us because our cousin who has Tyreek is
swept.
Gonna crush it. Because Tyreek got like crazy on fantasy.
Yeah, he got like 40 points this week. It was crazy.
And the Chargers are going to charger. They had a lot of chances to win the game. They were down 2 and were driving and were not able to get a field goal. Oof, tough. So the Dolphins end up winning in LA. And now could be a really strong contender. They look good. Tua looks good. Tyreek looked good. Dolphins are coming in hot.
Unexpected. And there were a lot of lopsided losses, some blowouts. I mean, the Niners, not surprisingly, but they blew out Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. And a lot of people were excited about Pittsburgh because they ended last season on a high note, winning the last 2 games. Apparently Kenny Pickett, the quarterback, had a really good preseason. So there was some buzz. And unfortunately, did not come to fruition during the game.
No. The Niners had a very convincing win, and McCaffrey got me 25 points. Brandon Ayuk got over 30 points in fantasy, and Brock Purdy. I mean,
Purdy was cooking.
He was crushing it. Mr. Irrelevant, as they called him last year.
Literally, crushing it.
The Niners are looking good. Another bizarre game was the Cowboys-Giants Sunday Night Football.
We didn't watch it.
No,
but I saw the highlights. And I was at an event and I was looking at the score on my phone and I was like, wait,
it's not adding up.
It's 26-0 at halftime. And the final score was 40-0. I'm like, weren't the Giants a playoff team last year? What's going on?
Literally, what happened? 40-0? What is going on?
Really bad. Not a good weekend for New York fans, that's for sure.
That was so embarrassing.
So now Daniel Jones, who they paid a whole lot of money, looked raggedy. The Giants offense was inept against a really good Dallas defense. And it just Bad sign. Does not look good for the Giants right now.
Another team that had high expectations were the Bengals because, Joe Burrow, TikTok's favorite, the internet loves him.
Joe Cool with his cigar and his glasses.
He did bad this week.
Yeah, they played the Browns in Cleveland and it was raining, but no excuse. What was the score? Like 24-3 or something crazy?
Embarrassing.
Joe Burrow had like his worst performance ever.
Bad.
And he just got paid to become the highest NFL player ever. So
embarrassing.
Yikes. Looks a little clownish right now. Here's the thing, like the first week, we could be looking too much into this. Maybe people are starting slow, but still, these are some really bad losses. We should throw in the Bears losing to the Packers because the Packers now have Jordan Love as their starting quarterback, who had been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers the last few years, and everyone was a little concerned how he might do. He looks great against the Bears. In Chicago, everyone was thinking this could be Chicago's time. Aaron Rodgers is gone. The division's opening up.
Justin Fields.
They got smacked. The Packers think they own the Bears, but they might. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Bears beat the Packers? It's been a minute. As Jets fans, we can understand. The Patriots have owned us for so long. I know, maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but I can empathize with the Bears fans. Like, the Jets literally have struggled so hard against the Patriots. So I know what it's like to be owned by a team. From one struggling fan to another.
Yeah, and there were also some surprising upsets too. Reigning Super Bowl champions, Kansas City, ended up losing to Detroit.
At home on opening night. I think the Kelsey loss was a lot bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
Mahomes doesn't have that many targets that he trusts besides him. And, the fact they let Tyreek Hill go a few years ago and then, they haven't really focused on getting at many receivers could come back to haunt them. When a star player gets out, what are you going to do without Kelsey? He struggled without him.
Yeah, he's the main
guy.
There was also a lot of hype around the Vikings, Cousins, and Jefferson. But they also lost.
At home to the Buccaneers.
What?
A team that lost Tom Brady. A team that no one thought would be good. And has Baker Mayfield at quarterback.
You let Baker Mayfield beat you.
At home. Embarrassing. That was one of the worst losses. I think the Bills losing to the Jets after Aaron Rodgers was down is still the worst. But Vikings are second. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, week 1 was pretty wild. Lots of strange
ups
games.
And downs.
We reviewed Hard Knocks, the opening weekend of the NFL. On to what to watch. What are we looking forward to?
Yes. Well, of course, the rest of the football season, and we're just getting started. NFL literally is one weekend.
And it's already off the wall.
Already bonkers. After this week, it seems like there are a few really good teams, like the Niners, the Eagles. Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention the Eagles-Patriots game. That was competitive. Thank goodness the Eagles pulled it out.
Woo. Yeah, it was definitely.
Did not want to see the Patriots win. But we think that the Niners are ones to beat. The Eagles are really good again. The Cowboys look dominant on defense. So there are a lot of really good teams at the top. And then after that, who knows?
So maybe,
maybe the Jets can surprise.
Without Aaron Rodgers?
I think it's like Wilson? 1% chance. But
it's technically possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
It's possible. Laura, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? What are your Super Bowl picks?
So, at the end of our Super Bowl episode, I picked the Niners and the Bills. But after seeing the Bills lose to the Jets and Josh threw 4 interceptions, that was not a strong showing. No. So I'm feeling less confident about that. I think the Niners will be there. I feel good about that. The Niners are in the conversation every single year.
It's a good pick.
Right? I think Brock Purdy is looking great. Brandon Ayuk went off. They have so many weapons, right? Yeah. So I really think that they can win this year. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be
in the AFC.
The AFC. I really don't. I'll throw the Bills in there because I want the
doubling
Bills to be
down
in
there. On the Bills.
Because as you know, New York fans, I'm rooting for them. So
yeah, we like
I'll throw the Bills in there. I can't see Kansas City in another. I can't.
I know. I I think the easy pick is saying Niners Chiefs, but I like the Eagles, so I'm
Yeah.
hoping the Eagles can get back there. So I'm going to say them. And it might be overreacting to week 1, but of all the AFC teams we saw, I thought the Dolphins looked the best.
Whoa.
I know. Overreaction. I'm saying Eagles, Dolphins.
Hey.
I might regret it in a few weeks.
No, let's see. I like that. It's chaotic. It's a bit unhinged.
Everyone else didn't look good. The Chiefs didn't look good. The Bengals didn't look good. Bills didn't look good.
You lost faith in the Jets?
Do I think they could possibly make the playoffs? Yes. Do I think they can win the Super Bowl?
They
No.
can't. They're not making the Super Bowl. No.
Not
without Rodgers.
Not without Rodgers, no.
No way.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Football's back, baby.
Woo!
As much as we love to hate the NFL, we are fans. So here we are.
It's fall. Drinking the Kool-Aid.
It's football season. Whether you watch college or the NFL, it's back. We're ready.
Yeah, and
Game
let's
time.
see who wins our fantasy league.
Fingers crossed it's me.
Well, thank you all for watching.
Yes.
You know, we're sisters who watch sports too.
Yes.
So we hope that
Not
you
just
enjoyed our
TV.
not just on Spline.
That's right.
So
Not just rom-coms.
we hope that you enjoyed our review of Hard Knocks, the Jets
Yes.
preseason, and the wild first week of the NFL 2023. So if you enjoyed this episode, please give us 5 stars. Please follow us on Spotify, on podcasts. Rate us. It means a lot. Follow us on Instagram at Sisters Who Watch, all social media.
We're everywhere. Give us a follow,
everywhere.
give us a like, a comment. You can email us at sisterswhowatch@gmail.com. We want to hear from y'all. We appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Bye.